Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week one's edition of Plays and Fades. Your boy, Nick the Lamb, going to take you through our favorite plays and fades of week one in the daily fantasy community. Find me at The Lamb Show, Twitter, Instagram, twitch.tv/The Lamb Show. A lot more content all throughout the social medias. But with that being said, we got the plugs out the way. Let's dive right into week one of the fantasy season. We're going to be using DraftKings this year, no longer using FanDuel. I've pivoted over to DraftKings, so it's only right that I stay with that theme. Let's start off with the quarterback position. My favorite quarterback on the entire slate is Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is in one of the best quarterbacking matchups you'll have all season. That's going to be the case for whoever plays the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are rostering a secondary that a lot of those guys are going to be cut from practice squads, but the Colts secondary is so bad that they're going to be starters for them. And as you look at Andy Dalton's game log last year, 17 of 29, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns at home against the Colts. Now, they're going on the road, but it is a controlled environment in the Dome in Indianapolis. So I think we could definitely lock in Andy Dalton at the quarterback position. As we move on over to running back, the most obvious chalk play is going to be Alvin Kamara, especially with the news of Mark Ingram not playing for the first 4 weeks. That's going to be the common theme for these next 4 weeks. But we're going over to David Johnson. David Johnson, entering last season, was everyone's consensus #1 pick in fantasy. And at halftime of the opening game against the Lions, the dude hurt his wrist, right? But that's the thing. He hurt his wrist. What changed from last year to this year? I actually think that the Cardinals got a lot better. Offensive line has improved. The quarterback position is better. And this is a guy who didn't hurt his knee. He's not coming back from an ACL. He actually practiced towards the tail end of last season. And he would have played if the team wasn't completely eliminated from the playoffs. So I think David Johnson at 8,800. If I'm paying up for any guy this week, it is going to be DJ. Moving on over to a wide receiver that I really like. Let's go ahead and type in Emmanuel Sanders' name. $5,000. He's been priced down because DraftKings is accounting for what the Seattle defense used to be in the past. They are no longer the LOB. In the final preseason game in which Emmanuel Sanders played with Case Keenum, in the first half alone, Manny Sanders saw 8 targets from Case Keenum. He's been raving about Emmanuel Sanders all offseason. Emmanuel Sanders has changed his diet up. He looks good. He looks explosive. I think at $5,000 for a guy who could surpass 3x, that means about 15 fantasy points. I really like Manny Sanders in this matchup. Moving on over to the tight end that I really like. Now, I know you guys might think, oh my God, this guy's always injured, right? Fair. Totally behind that. But here's the thing. In daily fantasy, we only care about that said week. We treat every single week in the DFS world as week 16 yearly fantasy championships, right? Jordan Reed is in one of the top matchups on the slate. The Cardinals, Jets, Browns, and Giants, if the past 5 years you were to stream tight ends against them, you'd probably bode well. At $4,000, he's been priced down maybe because he is injury prone. But as far as this goes, for week one, we really, really like Jordan Reed. And going on over to defense, the most obvious defense is going to be Baltimore. If you can afford it, go for it, but expect them to be north of 30% owned in any contest you play in. I'm looking down here at the New York Giants. New York Giants at 2,600. No Marquise Lee. He's out for the year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are going to have 4 wide receivers that have a combined 11 starts in the NFL. This is still Blake Bortles on the road. I think the Giants defense is going to be highly motivated coming out at home as an underdog against a team who I'm still not all in on. And at 2,600, I think you can't go wrong with that. If they could give you anywhere from 8 points or more, that's a great, great tournament play that I don't think anyone's going to be on. There you have it for the plays for this week. As we pivot on over, let's clear over here and let's go back to the quarterback position because we're going to go into the quarterback that we're fading this week. And the guy that I'm going to stay away from is Drew Brees. They are a 9.5-point favorite at home. And I think that Drew Brees could still get you anywhere from 15 points in that range. But at his price and what his ownership is going to garner, I'm going to stay away from Drew Brees. We'll put him over here so it's easier for you guys to see the fades column. I think this is going to be an Alvin Kamara game, and even Mike Gillislee might get a couple snaps. The running back that I'm fading in the top tier over here it is Ezekiel Elliott. The offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys is banged up, and it is sort of a concern now, which in the past has always been a strength for them. Zeke is in a tough matchup. That Carolina front seven is arguably one of the best in the league, and they're at home. I'm definitely going with Zeke as a full fade, though he is a tournament option because I think a lot of people feel the same way I do, so they're not going to be on him. If you are confident in Zeke, fire him up. I'm not necessarily doing that. A wide receiver that I'm staying away from, he is featured in the game that is going to feature Drew Brees, and that is Mike Evans. Mike Evans last year in the 2 games against the against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he saw a lot of targets. 5 catches for 55 yards. He is in one of the tougher matchups on the slate against Marshawn Lattimore. I'm staying away from Mike Evans at that salary. If he was in the 6,000 or lower range, I'd consider it, but not at 6,700. Tight end position, the tight end that I think I'm going to stay away from is Travis Kelce. I think Travis Kelce, though he is kind of matchup proof, at 6,400, if I'm staying away from these top tier tight ends. I find myself in the lower range, as we said before, with Jordan Reed. But Travis Kelce, I think Derwin James is a underrated pickup. He's my pick for Rookie of the Year in the NFL defensively. And I think that he's going to do a good job on Travis Kelce this week. At that salary, I definitely don't want to play it. And for me, I think the most obvious and chalk play is going to be the Ravens defense. I think, though, the defense that I'm fading this week is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that the Giants' offense is being severely slept on. It's going to be a good test for that offensive line against this Jacksonville team. If the Jaguars cannot get pressure on Eli Manning, I think that's going to be a good thing if you're a Giants fan like myself, and the optimism of going forward. But at this price, at 3,700, I think this is also going to be a chalk defense, and I'm not really a fan of the Jaguars on the road defensively. I'd probably fire up both defenses. I'd probably fire up the Giants defense as a play, but staying away from Jacksonville. So, yeah, there you guys have it. Week 1 plays and fades. We're doing it a little different. Leave some comments in the section below. Find us at Veterans Minimum on Twitter, Veterans_minimum on Instagram. Leave some comments. Tell us what you think about this new layout. I think I'm going to go with this going forward because it is a lot easier to do. It is a lot easier for the eye, for you to be able to see the game logs and whatnot. So comment below, and good luck this week, and we'll talk to you soon. Pow!